What's up? It's episode number 43 of the SellersCast. I'm Andrew Maffetone, and once again, I am joined by the beautiful Dana Dench, our marketing operations manager here at Seller's Choice. And today, we are talking about the importance of personalizing your e-commerce emails. So, here's what we're talking about. Personalizing an email so that it's not a big, bulk, giant newsletter or auto email of here's a standard thing I sent to everyone and there's no love behind it and no one opens it. Think of it kind of like a really bad postcard is basically how newsletters have started to come out. So what you want to start doing is finding ways to personalize it. Now, if you think, oh, okay, he's going to talk about adding a first name to a subject line and the snippet, you are wrong. So yes, you can do that stuff. It's very rookie. Everyone does that. We do not suggest doing it. In most cases, sometimes you can, but I would say at this point,
everyone knows about it.
Yeah, it's
Skip
dead.
on it.
So we're talking about getting a little bit deeper into that. We're talking about utilizing the data that you have that you may not even know that you have. So yes, I'll kick it off with the stuff you see before you even open the email, right? So your subject line, your snippet. If you don't know what a snippet is, it's a little preview area underneath the subject line. You're supposed to be using that as sales copy, not leaving it blank. But that is your opportunity to really sell someone to open it. That's what's really going to affect your open rate. So yes, you can put a first name in there, but you can also change that subject line based on the data that you have. A lot of these softwares out here now, like our favorites in-house are Klaviyo, or if you're able to get something a little bulkier and have a CRM, we use HubSpot, where you can take some of the data that you have from these customers and adjust your subject line or your snippet based on who they are. So locations or anything along those lines. So before we did this, we used an example. Before we started talking, we obviously made sure we're on the same page. And the example we had was if it's raining. So if you're selling raincoats or umbrellas and it's raining in Florida, you can send an email straight to Florida only and and in the snippet or in the subject line, be like, is it tired of the rain outside or something like that? Like something that actually hits home with the person that's reading it.
Yeah, it's time to get creative with those open subject lines and preview text. Use that data that you have to really create something that's out of the ordinary so that people can actually open the email. Diving into the actual email where the design is, where I love to stay in there in HubSpot. One thing that I would definitely recommend is to try staying away from all these big graphics and everything. If you can write a very personal email, I think that hits home more than all of these flashy graphics that take forever to load. Half the time, if it's a very well written out letter, it sounds like it's coming from a real person, which it is, but it'll add a little bit more personality to it. Would you say the same?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, if you take some of the data that you have available and think about the many ways that you can do it. So one of our favorite examples, it's someone we work with where we personalize everything for them just because we have so much data on these customers, but they sell college apparel and stuff like that. So one of the things that we do is the auto emails or the newsletters or anything like that, we know based on their shopping habits who their favorite teams are. So we'll create an email for every type of team that we have and send it out to those consumers with the team that they enjoy. So for example, I went to UCF, go Knights. If someone sent me a USF email saying hey, 20% off all of our clothes, I would go, screw you, I hate USF. I don't want to see that. I'm not helping you, even if you have UCF stuff. So it's personalizing it because if I see oh, I love UCF, I like that hat you just saw, let me check this out. So I'm more enticed to actually shop because it was a little bit more catered to me.
Yeah.
So colors, you can personalize those too.
Yep.
So what was I was thinking of, so sometimes it depends. So if you have HubSpot or you have anything, obviously we use HubSpot here. Thank you, HubSpot, for all you do. But if you have anything like that, or even Optimizely, I think, has this option too, and there's a few other softwares out there where you can actually get data on buttons that people have clicked on your website or on email. And if it turns out that you can get enough data that says every button that this person has clicked is blue, then guess what color your call to action for that specific person should be?
It better be blue.
So there's a ton of personalization options you can do if you actually think about the data that you have available to you. Even if you have an extremely boring product line, like some kind of like, weird electronic that no one wants or whatever, you know what I mean. You can actually think about taking those products that people have purchased with you before, and if you're sending out a newsletter, change out the products that you have as an example and show stuff that people have purchased before for those specific people. You can, they're I forgot what HubSpot. Product feed, or I think it's called like a smart token or something. I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically like based on that person's data, it will change a picture or it will change a color or it will change something like that. So being able to personalize more than just adding their first name to a subject line or a snippet is absolutely going to increase not only your open rate over time, but it will also increase your click rate and ideally, of course, your conversions as well.
Yeah. And one way I think that is great to collect all of this data to then be able to personalize is creating some kind of email that you blast out to your list that allows people to pick their preferences. So let's say we are going back to that example with the schools, sending them an email saying like, hey, we want to personalize your email. We want to target you in a way that you can have products that you actually want to see, not like USF, which letters is it? UCF? UCF, okay, whatever. I'm from New Jersey, I don't know. But being able to send out an email that allows the user to pick which types of emails that they're getting, I think that's the first step. So if you don't know where to start, first step there, then you can start playing around with that data and really be able to personalize those emails.
Beautiful. Once again, thank you everyone. We'll give some love to both Klaviyo and HubSpot since we didn't mention them enough. But per usual, please comment below. Let us know if you have any questions, comments, or complaints, which I would hope not. Or, of course, let us know if there's something you want us to touch on next week. But if not, make sure you subscribe, and we will see you all next time.